Well, here we are, mate.
Here we are.
Welcome back.
I'm flat, Jim. I'm really flat.
Yeah, I've been better. What? Anything in particular for you? Jumping off the page?
Well, I think just my whole personality is based on Australia winning. And when Australia loses, we look like fools.
We do. We look silly, and there's actually no other reason that we would look silly.
No. I mean, when Heady doesn't fire, Cumdog can't get the job done, we lose to a bloke with an outsized Latina butt.
That was the biggest ass I've ever seen in my life.
It's outrageous.
How do you not bowl?
Guy?
Like, how is he making connection with ball when he is shorter than the stumps themselves?
Oh, my goodness. That was grim. That was grim, Jim.
That sucked. And we even tried a live stream.
Yeah, and got abused.
Heavily. It was a bad weekend.
But the best part about it is, Jim, there's cricket again in 2 weeks.
Oh, there is in the West Indies.
Yeah, I'll just move on.
Everyone's
Everyone's going to forget about this.
I'd love to, but for anyone who can't actually see this, get on YouTube. I'm in full kit at the moment. Full cricket whites. I got the pads on, thanks to Gray Nichols, who were kind enough to make sure that I didn't not do this. So yeah, thanks.
You've fallen on your proverbial sword, which is the Gray Nichols
Cup.
No, the sword in your hand there, Jim.
Oh yes, sorry. My other sword is in a cup right now. If you could hear that.
Yes.
Yep. Full kit. I mean full kit.
And because you put a call out to the fan page to punish you, really, for going out and claiming that Australia were always father of South Africa. And then when we weren't and we got fathered, there had to be a punishment.
Which I still maintain we are always father of South Africa. I'm not quite conceding that part.
They fucking suck. They haven't won anything in 27 years.
Do you know who their last winning captain of anything was, like at that level?
Our man, friend of the show.
A friend of the show, Hansi Cronje.
Hansi Cronje. Of course they were winning then.
Pause for a sec. Is that in front of... I just noticed his mic boom. Is that in front of the shot?
This thing? Oh, yeah.
Oh, fuck. Whoops. do we do that again? I don't know. Is that in your shot now? Should we take the...
Not in my shot.
Will that
What,
be...
in my shot?
Oh, is that? I can't. Oh, is that a mic? Oh, that's a
It
mic.
is.
I can't see that. Yeah.
That's all right, I guess.
Yeah. No, that's out of the shot.
We don't have to get... Should we do it again? Or
We can go after whatever you want. Whatever
No, we'll leave it in there. We were at Hansi Cronje. Get back down into your therapy position. What are you doing up there? Hansi Cronje, yeah. Friend of the show, corrupt as hell, blames Satan for his corruption from memory.
Yes. He was a devout man of God, wasn't he?
I think he was.
Until he saw them Saudi sheets flying around and
Thought better of the situation.
He dropped all morals.
Which is exactly what we would have done.
Absolutely.
In the same position. But
Fucking oath.
no, I maintain that if we just lost the coin toss and that's how we lost the test.
That's the only reason.
That's it. There's
Not
nothing
because they
else.
were better than us or anything like that.
Not because not one of our batsmen other than Big Bo at one stage there. Oh, Smudge showed something.
And then faked an injury.
Yep.
Because he dropped a catch.
Yep.
Classic Smudge. I would have done the same thing.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, actually, in fact, I have done the same thing multiple times.
I did it this morning at the cafe when I wanted to tell them that I went for a run. So I said, my back. Oh, as I got up to get the coffee, I went, I've pulled me back. I think I've done something. I went for a jog last night. Classic Smudge.
So where to from here for us? I think we need to, relook at all the contracts. I think we need to fire, as Donald Trump would, half the team.
Yep.
And rebuild.
I'm ready to fire missiles. In fact, actually, you know what? That's probably what got us in this position in the first place. Well, to be clear, I'm fucked here. So I actually have to do a lot of things I did put it out to the audience, and I think you had a lot of fun with that. Unfortunately, there were some punishments.
I have enjoyed this, yes. So I feel like the audience, as they always do, they sent through a lot of great suggestions for a punishment for you. And have you your homework was to put together a top 3?
Yeah.
And you did that based off fan votes, right?
Yeah, which were pretty emphatic, unfortunately.
Go on. What have we got? What have we got?
I needed to get in.
This is the stuff I love.
All right. So full kit all week. So just to be clear, you're only seeing me now in full cricket South African Grey Nichols kit. Actually, Grey Nichols Australian made. We'll get to that. But I had to be full kit all week, South African style, and I need to get in the nets and face a ball machine set at the speed of Dale Steyn.
Which is around 150 clicks for those playing at home.
Yep. So
That's going to be so fun.
yeah. So we were going to do that today, but Clokey's over in Perth, probably about to get spanked off the face of the earth himself. I told him what's going on. He said, you will not be doing that before I get home. So we've got to wait for Trav to be back. I think he wants to bowl a few wides at me himself as the leading wide.
Oh, yeah.
Giver of it. Anyway, so that's happening, I think, next week. I am gonna do that. So if you want to come down, let me know. Just let us all know through the socials. Email us. Do whatever you want to do. We might even get a crowd there. And Vedge is going to control the ball machine, and I'm just going to.
Yeah, I'm so excited for that. I've always wanted to face 150 clicks. I've always wanted to know what that was like.
Are you going to do it?
Absolutely.
Oh, so I've been taking the rap here because I just have this habit of getting us both into trouble, and I just don't want to.
No. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a lot of fun.
Misery loves company. Come on down.
Yes, absolutely.
So you're also in on the rest of the punishments.
I'm in for that. Yes.
Okay. Well, the second punishment is the Bavuma tattoo on our asses.
Oh no, I'm not in for that one.
I was really excited then. I keep saying no. Say I, not we. I don't get Vedge in trouble.
You are getting the Bavuma tat on your ass.
I am, but on one condition. I'm not paying for that. There's no fucking way I'm paying for a Bavuma tattoo. But if a tattooist comes forward in the next 48 hours, I'll give you 48 hours, and says we'll do it for free, I will get the Bavuma tattoo that I created on ChatGPT the other night and posted. I'll get that on my ass.
Yeah, and I was saying to you during the week, like, you should have got a Boomerang one. And then, maybe who's an English fucking fast bowler?
I don't know. No one knows anyone from England.
Should have got a Mark Wood one on the other cheek
Mark
maybe this
Wood.
summer.
What about our man Stokesy, who's now the softening of Stokesy? He's on the PR tour at the moment. He's everywhere. He's trying to make himself look like a good bloke. He's quit drinking. Shut up.
Too late for that. Mate.
Too late.
But
But that was punishment 2. There was a lot of them that came through. The other one was, have you ever seen one of the Die Hard movies? I think it was with the Vengeance, where I can't actually say what was on the sign, but Bruce Willis is the movie opens with Bruce Willis in the middle of Harlem, and he's got a sign around him, and Samuel L. Jackson notices that sign. Very not what you want on you, because the bad guy has told him you must wear this sign and stand in the middle of Harlem, and it was I hate something you wouldn't want to hate someone, blah blah blah. So one of the punishments was the suggestions, and I'm willing to do this if there's an airfare paid for. Qatar Airways voted best airway in the world, or a private jet. I will put a sign on that says, Australia always father of maybe dwarf style Bavuma, a very big anus, something that's going to get me bashed in
South Africa.
in Joburg.
Oh,
I will.
That's a really bad idea, Jim.
If someone pays for the airfare, it has to be business too, because I just if it's the last supper sort of setup, I want to be comfortable.
Last supper sort of setup, yeah. Could be the last thing you do.
Yeah, and the last, speaking of suppers, I didn't even write it down, I should have, but there is a South African dish that looks absolutely putrid, and I have found a viral of a person who that's all she does. She just makes this particular, it's like a stew / sandwich / roll. I gotta find some of it and eat it, and that'll happen. Maybe same
kind of
day.
ingredients are we talking? Is there any, liver or?
It's like a pot pie sort of looking thing. It
Yeah,
looks
yeah.
fucking disgusting. I think there's one of those Springbok in it.
The Springbok.
Yeah, I made that up too. But,
Springbok choy.
Yeah, Springbok choy. Anyway, So that's going to happen. But we should probably explain why and how I've acquired all this sick gear.
Yeah, it's you're looking good. You've got the Grey Nichols Fusion 2500 in your hands. That looks very fresh. I can smell the English willow from here.
Yes, a very good knowledge of the bat there. I didn't have any of that until yesterday. They actually took me through the place and gave me the full tour, which I actually like. I'm still talking hosty style. That was sick.
Yeah,
Like that was actually a pretty cool experience to go through that
it
joint.
would be.
It was like they're very big on the fact that they're Australian made. There's a little, I know it all now. There's a little stamp on the top of every genuine bat that goes on. You can see that there.
Oh, yeah.
And it's it's an original Grey Nichols. So they took me through the whole joint, and they've got some other brands and stuff, but showed me the whole process from the English willow and the different types of cuts that they get, and they grade them and everything. And I've got a lot of footage of this too, so I'll put it up on the socials. It was actually like for a cricket nuffy and just anyone who's grown up sort of having cricket around them. This was a pretty awesome experience. Down to like some of the roles of the people in there. It was like the head. This guy came in like huffing and puffing, like, oh, he's very serious. It was like something like the head bat scientist. Oh, God.
What a dream job. You imagine him at the pub. Like, what do you do for work, mate? Oh, I'm a bat scientist.
It was
Can you
unreal.
imagine him pumping around the local pubs?
And everyone just set up a little straighter as they're carving them out, and oh shit, the head bat scientist in here. And
I haven't held a bat for ages, but the grips have changed. They're more like elongated now. It's not like a perfect circle. They're kind of like
yeah, it's an interesting
a bit
show.
more of an oval now.
But seriously, I didn't expect them to go this far, Grey Nichols, but they've carved this for me.
It's amazing.
I've gone in there, watched the whole process from go to woe. I will put some of this footage out. So you walk in and you just go through the storage, whatever, and out the back, it's only a really small room. It's like just bigger than this studio. But off to one side, there's a bloke who's just carving it. He's putting it through the machine, making sure it's got the right shape. And then that carries over to the guy who's got the first lot of sanding. And he's got a roll as well. And I've got to get all these titles up. They're all just like dream titles. But it reminded me of like year 7 woodwork, like that sort of room. And when they say handmade, they're literally there like with these tools that look like they're from the 1800s and just carving these things to absolute perfection. It was awesome.
Because you were saying that they'll have some of the Australian players or professional cricketers will, send them a bat after a game or a tournament and will be like, hey, I need, this slightly, I need different weight distribution or like width or all that kind of shit. Like
Width
that's
and girth.
super interesting.
Sorry. Yeah. There was a bit of that flying around the room, the width and girth jokes. I couldn't help myself. I think the bat scientists like that
You must
too.
have been nervous.
I was actually. I was really nervous. I started when the dick jokes start coming out. Actually, just swearing in dick jokes. Grow up, 36 years old. But yeah, it was. So they sort of took me over to an area where there was like maybe 10 or 20 bats just in this rack thing, and he's pulling them out. Like, well, that looks used, was my line. I was, oh yeah, that's Travis Head's bat from whatever test. And I'm like, what? Like, he doesn't just
sick.
throw it out and use another one. Like I'm thinking of footy players in their boots. And
Was it pretty clean, that one, or
No,
after the World Test Championship? It wouldn't
no,
have had much on it.
I think that one is somewhere in the ocean.
Yes. Yeah.
But very different to different needs. Like Big Bose is just big, heavy, and as you can imagine, he just wants to belt the shit out of it. It was just bloody interesting. But that little stamp at the end, there's a guy whose job is to stamp that. It's just, for anyone just listening, it's like 2 inches, a stamp on the side of the bat, Grey Nichols, and that's his job. And I want it.
That's awesome.
Imagine that.
That's great.
It was an awesome experience. Went out the back. There's so much history in that room too. That was what sort of jumped off the page. Like there's all this. They keep everything, all the old stickers from all the bats gone by, and all that sort of stuff. There's Matty Hayden's old stuff around, and they just keep everything. It's like old cupboards and dust everywhere, and they're the best in the world. Loved it. So thank you to them.
Yeah, so let's put him to the test. I know that you're not a handy cricketer, but let's put him to the test next week when we go out to the nets with Dale Stain paced deliveries.
And can I just clarify something? I've never played cricket in my life.
Yeah, but you don't have to have played cricket to enjoy it.
Like, enjoy it, yes.
Yeah.
Play it at the pay. It was 150 clicks.
Yeah.
Can't wait. So I asked Matty from Grey Nichols, can I get like a thigh guard as well? He goes, no, you got to get bruised. We'll protect your shins, but not that. You got to get bruised, mate. So I think I'm in a fair bit of strife.
Quite scary. Yeah.
I'm scared, but I actually can't wait to do this. It'll be grouse.
Mate, the thing that I absolutely hated about the cricket being over. I was so happy for it to, just to have cricket back, a little taste of cricket in June in the winter of Australia. The thing that I hated most about that ending was that I knew that the rugby was on last night.
It was
that was
it
the
was
next
grim.
sporting event.
Yeah, it was grim.
Yeah, which Grubgate.
About that. Is that like the always father of rugby?
I think it is. Yeah, always father,
Grub. Like,
grub, flog,
That's we put it out on the socials and
wanker in
Yeah.
EPL.
But I think it goes further than that because we put it up on the stories just sort of tested the water with this grub thing and people did try to clarify to us, it's like saying flog. I think it's worse than that because this was the reactions from Slater and everyone in Queensland. He melted. Talk about the melt meter coming back if Harry was here.
Such a funny thing to be offended by. The word grub.
Grub. And you were kind enough to remind me of an old video from 15 years ago of a current affair.
Jeffrey Leonard.
That was a genuine slip. We had a mate who just could not get past this video.
For about 10 years.
It was a horrible pedophile guy roaming the streets called Jeffrey Leonard. And he just, it was the weirdest, sick, horrible bloody current affairs story. But the guy was actually off his head. He was just jumping around going, "You're a grub. And you too are a grub. All right, a grub."
He was a fucking weirdo. I hope he's in jail, that bloke.
Well, we should check on that. You fucking hope so. He was sicko. But anyway, I digress into grub a little far. What the hell was that whole thing? Because that's Aaron Woods, friend of the show. Actually, he's genuine friend of the show.
Did he call Billy Slater a grub? Is that what happened?
Yep.
Oh,
Who cares?
yeah.
Who cares?
I mean, it's kind of like fine, right? It's got a good bit of character in the game.
Yeah. Grub was too far though. It was a strange presser. Did you watch the presser? How it ended was not good, and an apology came from Slater and everything. But the fact that he looked like he had a prepared statement there to the start of that. I'm going to address that Aaron Woods called me a grub on the radio and make this the biggest thing in the world.
So funny.
What are you doing, man?
It's so funny. It's just so funny that they get so upset over the word grub. I find it hilarious.
What are so we know always father in cricket is clearly a no, and it seems to be in every nation now. I thought it was just India and Pakistan, but
Yeah.
South Africans didn't like it either very much. And so this grub now we've figured out is rugby. Are there others? Like what are these? What are the most offensive words?
What is it in the AFL?
In the AFL, it's stat patter, isn't it? Call yourself a stat cheesy
You
ball.
are Harry Sheasel.
Yeah, I think coward is probably the one, isn't it?
Coward, yeah.
Like you shit yourself?
Yeah, that's a good one.
They used to sting me when I get at every contest.
Yeah, no, I'd get that a lot.
Took your eyes off it. You're a coward.
I was like, yes, I did, and it was strategic. Yeah. I'm not a fan of contact.
Yeah, I have a long life of podcasting to live.
Yeah. So, I suppose, from my perspective, Grubgate has been the most entertaining thing about Origin this year. I'll be happy if I never have to watch an Origin match again. Yawn.
Yeah, it was terrible. And they nearly shit it. Like I was watching it thinking, I'm a Queensland guy. If you could put a gun to my head, I'm Queensland over New South Wales. But I thought it was 26 to
Name
6.
3 Queensland players.
Fuck. You got me. Shit. No, I got one. Munster. Yeah. And hold on. So it was 3, was it? Munster. No, I'm actually stumped. I don't know any of them. Pretty much the whole Melbourne Storm team, right?
You tell me, man. I couldn't tell you.
I couldn't tell you.
You could have made up 3 names. I'd have been like, oh, yeah, he's got it.
I was immediately about to say Lomax, who is, I'm pretty sure that's New South Wales.
Nah, boring. Mate, let's get into something that we actually have a fair bit of knowledge about.
Corruption.
I'd say that we are PhD level experts in corruption.
It's building.
At this stage. I think we're in a good spot. But there is one bloke that has come across our radar and, it came across my radar a little while ago, but you've reconnected with this man and I find it super... Sorry, that's cough. But there is something...
Where are you going? I'm leaving that in, by the way. We're not cutting that.
Okay. There is something that's come across my radar, and that's Dan Saunders. Now, can you explain for those listening who Dan is and what happened to him. It's so interesting.
This is nuts. As you say, like I had no idea who Dan was until a week ago. I hadn't listened to the pod. I immediately went to you after what 20 people said, because what we do, we put something up about to tell us who the most, the better cases, like Robin Hoods of corruption, we aim to be. And Dan's name just kept coming up in this podcast called The Glitch. What is this? So he immediately knew who he was, and I've gone down the rabbit hole. Within like 20 minutes, Dan's in the inbox because I've put it up, gone, find us this guy. Like, where is he? And it turns out he's been following the page for ages. Like, he's been there through potentially the whole glitch.
That's so good.
So what happened with Dan? He's had this ATM card. I'm just gonna. I've written. I don't want to stuff this up. He's a bartender from Wangaratta. He's had an ATM glitch in 2011. So he's put his card in, and to my understanding, there's been some sort of mishap that's happened, where it glitch, if you will, where he's gone and tried to transfer an amount of money that's not there from something to something else. He's just, I've got no cash here. What am I going to do? And he's spat it out, said card declined, and he's put his card back in, his debit, and the money's there. But there's no sort of history of it ever happening. So you go, okay, I'll withdraw it then. It takes $5,000 out. Fuck. Okay. I've just created money where there is none, corruption style. And so he's gone and just kept doing it. Every night he's going back, and he said that the amounts are increasing and nothing's happening. No one's calling him from the bank. The amounts are getting bigger. They're getting up to $20,000 every day he's pulling out of the ATM. And he's starting to go on these benders. And did you listen to you knew about him before me, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, absolutely. I heard about this, and essentially there was some glitch in the ATM, and he was able to withdraw unlimited amounts of cash.
What did he get up to?
This same thing, except you just withdrew 350, 250 every Saturday night at 9 p.m.
Yeah, they still haven't picked up on it, the banks.
That's what you tell your missus. It's a glitch.
No one calls me until it's all gone.
Yeah, exactly. So he was able to withdraw over time. He estimates $1.6 million of free money. So money that wasn't his.
Yeah.
And that's in a pretty short amount of time, right?
Yeah, it was only like 6 months or something. But the funny thing here is it's one point, I think he went to court. He eventually goes to court. I don't want to ruin the whole thing because we want to go and we want to get him on. He's got to come on.
He's got to come on.
But he's gone and eventually got caught and gone to court, and they've only hit him up for 1.6. But at one point, he estimates, he talks about it on his podcast, that he had about, over $5 million in the bank account.
Wow.
But for some reason, it's not a good thing for banks to have out
really
in
bad
the
thing
world.
for the banks. Yeah. So for their image with their customers, right?
Yeah.
If they can say, we were able to contain it and he only withdrew 1.6, it's a whole lot better than saying we only caught him when he took $10 million out,
It's nuts.
It's 20.
And some of the stories, it's a great series, but he talks about our favourite nightclub. He was going out to CQ on the weekend and just throwing it around. But the thing that I liked about him, just listening to the whole thing in 2 days, I was addicted. He genuine Robin Hood style. He was sort of getting off on just paying for everyone, shouting everyone else. I think one of his lines in it is mate, there's nothing better than just shouting your mates.
Yeah.
And I shouted my mates for 6 months, as much as I could possibly shout them.
So good.
It was awesome. He was sort of on the way to the casino. He talks about I'm picking up homeless people and saying, "Here, mate, I'll put you up in Crown for the night," and then getting a call the next day from Crown saying they've stolen the TV or the sheets. It's so good. It just and I hope he does this when we chat to him. But he will cut from seriously talking about this whole saga and everything to. Yeah, so we're in the hotel. There's 20 people there. I didn't know who they were. Some bloke from Ukraine, a couple of models from New York. We're like, yeah, you come around with us and blah blah blah, and blah blah blah. Then a midget comes out of a cannon and blah blah blah. What the hell is going on? So he's had the wildest 6 months.
Sounds like
you can put together.
Wolf of Wall Street type stuff.
Yeah, very much so. So it's a bloody interesting listen. He lives somewhere up in New South Wales now. I reckon he'd be an unbelievable chat.
Yeah, we should definitely get up there. I'm going to be up there in July anyway. Let's organise that.
Done.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
He's a bloody good bloke. We've been on the text the last couple of weeks, and he immediately texted back. This is actually pretty funny. We're just inboxing whatever, and we just exchanged numbers, and I've flicked the text through to him, and he just sends a selfie of himself back. He because I'm a bad reception mate. I'm on a boat in Hamilton Island.
Classic.
Just having the time of his life.
I've got so many questions, but
Yeah,
we'll save
fire
it.
him.
No, we'll save it till we get him on because I'm like, curious about because he was a bartender, right?
Mm.
And then he's obviously had all this money, lived this crazy life, and then gone to jail. What career choice has he made after that? You know what I mean? Like, has he gone, I want to earn more money, so I want to get into a high-paying tech job or some shit? Or has he just gone like, I want to sun my butthole in Byron Bay?
I think he's somewhere in between.
Yeah, because I presumably all that money got taken off him, right?
No, he really. I was just mucking around before. He genuinely is sort of off the map. I think he does a lot of work helping people with gambling addictions and things like that.
Yeah.
The non-judgmental. Come and stay with me for a while, and what'd you say? Sun our buttholes and.
Yeah.
You check our ATM cards.
And have you seen StatMate?
Oh, he's coming. But AJ's, I'm telling you, he's a real person, and he's going to be on very soon, actually. In fact, should we talk some footy?
I think we should. Should we get into some... I'm not going to call it tipping because we're not good at it, but let's just chat footy in general, huh?
Because it's absolutely stuffed. Our tipping competition is genuinely useless. We got to fix this thing up, and you don't believe me.
I know that we can do better.
And for that reason, AJ from StatMate, the founder of StatMate, is in the house.
Thanks very much, mate. Appreciate it.
AJ dog ate my homework from StatMate. Jim, when we need to record on a Wednesday, and Jim goes, "Sorry, boys, can't come in." Had a bit of a night with AJ. I'm like, who the fuck is this AJ bloke, and why are they drinking on a Wednesday night?
We assessed the data, and we pushed on with our bender.
No, we have shared a few beers together. It's been good fun, but no, I appreciate it, mate. Thanks for having me on.
So you're real.
I am real.
Oh, you are real.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I told you.
Well, welcome.
Yeah, not just an excuse. Yeah.
Yeah. This is our way of meeting. We met at a Super Bowl party on the beers. And then we meet again a couple of weeks ago when it was meant to be a nice, quiet dinner amongst friends. And off we went to the moon, and now here we are.
That's right. I introduced you to StatMate, tried to help you punting a little bit. But no, thanks for having me on.
It's starting to work. But tell us about StatMate. How did it happen? I think it's an awesome story, but tell the listeners.
So basically, StatMate, for those that haven't heard or unaware, it's a player stats app that basically makes your life a hell of a lot easier, saves you a lot of time. We're across AFL, NRL and NBA. Allows you to basically look at how a player performs against a certain team at a certain ground or just in general this year. And really, it's your best mate when it comes to punting your fantasy team, or maybe even just at the pub when you're having an argument with a mate over who's a better player. You can whip out StatMate and it can help you. So it's designed to really be the punter's best friend and just take the need for trawling through different websites and different apps to basically just one central app. And at a few click of a buttons, you get your insight, and you can then go on to either place a bet or make your trade on Dream Team.
Is that why you're driving a G-Wagon out the front? Is it because you've been using StatMate the past few weeks?
No, not quite. It's not a hack by any means, but it does help you a little bit get a better insight and understanding of the code.
Has it always been an app, or has it been any other iterations of it in the past? Or
so it is an app only at this stage. So you can jump on the App Store or Google Play if you've got an Android and you're one of those weirdos. But you can download for free. And that's probably the other thing I didn't mention is the best part of all is it's absolutely free. So no one needs to pay anything. There's no catch. Just download, sign up, and then you can give it a go. But yeah, it's there really to save you a whole lot of time. I mean, the insight really came about when, in today's day and age, like everyone's short on time, right? So you don't have an hour, 2 hours before a match of footy starts to really sort of sit down and dig through different websites. So in 5-10 minutes, using StatMate helps you get that understanding of which player might have an opportunity or a lean into tonight's game and try and beat that bookie. You want to get that win and help your punters club or your group chat out. So that's sort of how it all came about.
It's not that people don't have time, mates. That they've got a missus.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
Got a missus looking over their shoulder going, why have you got the paper out and why are you circling Nazai Wanganeen for 25 plus?
Great point. So there you go. StatMate could be your missus' best mate too. Yeah.
More time with the missus. That's how you can sell it to her.
So that's a good marketing campaign in itself. So it's funny because that's really, I shouldn't say that specific example is how it came about. My lovely wife actually is a really good user of StatMate. She's been she actually tests quite a bit of it for me, and I've gotten her into same game multis now too.
This is corruption.
This is great. It's a good tip out there for the lads too. If you've got a missus that's not quite sure, get him into StatMate. teaches them a little bit more about punting, a little bit more about footy, and then they really enjoy it.
There's
so there you go.
something in this.
Yeah.
There's something.
I'm trying to point at you, but the gloves won't allow me.
No, I see it, I see it.
Before I actually ask that question, how are you finding answering serious questions for a man wearing a helmet?
Yeah, it's strange. Yeah, I'm kind of looking through you, to be honest.
I just caught AJ's eyes before, and he's trying to give the story and everything, and he's just trying
not to
so
laugh.
hard not to grin. But it is one of those. I love the story, like we were talking about the glitch guy before, as Vedge takes a photo for BTS style, Dan Saunders. But it's just that, like those unbelievable yarns across the table where you go, how the hell did that happen? And
Yeah.
So when did it start? So how long ago did you say this?
Yeah, so it's funny. It's a story you'll enjoy. The New Year's Eve of 2022, I was at a good mate of mine, Wally's place, for New Year's drinks down in Blairgowrie, and we were sitting around having a few too many beers, and we were sort of just chatting about just how big same game multis had become, and we'd both been in the wagering industry for about 10 years.
Right.
And there was nothing that we spoke about from an Australian standpoint that we'd seen that did what StatMate did, that had made it really easy for you to kind of put together your same game multi and find the stats. There was some stuff over in the US that did a really good job of it. A lot more stats over there to sort of play with. So we kind of had more beers. We got up the next morning, we were hungover, and we still thought maybe this is a good idea. So we sort of put together a bit more of some numbers and some stats and all this sort of stuff, and thought there actually might be something in this. So we joined forces with another mate, James. The three of us put sort of our brains together and then started working with a small company here in Cremorne, actually, Shadowboxer, who are a tech startup, or they help you start up by building tech and then marketing, etc. as well. They've been fantastic. So they're who to thank for how quick the app is.
We should give them a fair plug, because
Yeah.
the amount of ideas that do happen, and you go, oh, well, how the hell am I going to take it from idea to that's I didn't even know that existed, to be honest.
And that's the thing, right? So like I've got no technical background whatsoever.
Yeah.
Marketing, I love sport, love punting, I'm a data nerd. But to go from an idea in my head to what the app looks like and is now is like a far cry from what it started out on those beers in 2022. So we spent sort of that year looking into it, started to build it, launched it round one of 2024 as a subscription service, so $15 a month.
Yep.
And what we found was it was bloody tough to market when you're competing against the likes of Sportsbet, PointsBet, bookmakers. It's just hard to get it out there. And probably the naive part of me was that it'd just catch fire, and you'd put something out there, someone would see it, they'd tell their mate, and then all of a sudden you've got 10,000 people using it.
Yeah.
Nah, it's not the case. I reckon we had probably 10, 20 people using it the first week. Yeah. That snowballed to 100, 200. And then you sort of get to a point where you really need to spend to get to that sort of number where it really starts to pay for itself. And we really struggled to do that, to be brutally honest. And so it got to a point where we're at a crossroad. Do we continue to go down the subscription path? What do we look to try and do? We were really lucky that PointsBet came on board as an exclusive partner.
Yep.
And as a result, no longer a subscription service. Every punter can be happy. It's free to use. Like I said, you can download it now, and that's it. There's no barrier. So we're over 10,000 people using the app at the moment.
So that's why you're driving the G-Wagon.
My helmet nearly fell off.
There's someone else must have driven past me. But no, so they've been great. And the beauty of it now is that like there is no real barrier for your missus to use it, for your mate who's never watched AFL before to use it and start to learn that little bit more about it.
Yep.
And that's the cool part, is you start to talk to people that have used that app and they're throwing stats at you that they would never have any idea about. But using the app is a bit of fun too. Like, it's visually appealing, couple of different buttons, and you can see how Bontempelli goes against Richmond this weekend. So like all of that helps. And yeah, I think it could help your punting as well. I mean, it would probably take a bit of a miracle for yours.
Yeah, I don't think I'll make any chance of
I'll do my best to help.
Yeah, you don't have the Nigerian IPL in there, do you?
No, not yet.
Well, that's Jim's.
We don't go that deep. I'm not sure
yeah.
stats really sort of come into play in the Jamaican
No,
IPL.
it's how much cash you've got.
Yeah.
Is there any way we can sort of look at incorporating some Ukrainian table tennis?
I'll put it on the backlog. I'll put it on the backlog.
But I was saying to you off air that coming from a coaching space where footy, basketball, it's stats are just becoming everything, and I think sports code is the major one in most sports. There's things that app's doing that we weren't able to do when you're coaching and coding games and things that would actually have made it a lot easier. I think you're showing me something with obviously our number one sport, rugby league, which we know heaps about, with the rugby state of
A little bit of
league.
sarcasm there, but
Yeah, no, we have no idea about rugby.
State of the Union address.
State of the, yes,
State of the Union.
the Union Hotel.
Union.
Yeah, we don't know what the hell we're talking about. We like Woodsy's work, but there's stuff in there that would have been really bloody handy to have been around when we're trying to code a game for 3 days and get it right.
I think like that, and that's probably the element that makes StatMate really unique is that next level. So you could probably go to the AFL website or a bookmaker app and see how a player's gone in their last 5 matches. But with StatMate, you can go to the detail of how a player performs when a teammate's out through injury. So if you know that a player is ruled out, whether it be Charlie Curnow this weekend, you can go and have a look at another forward in that team and go without Charlie Curnow, and it'll within seconds filter how many games that player's played without Charlie Curnow, how well he's performed, and then from there you can sort of start to form your opinion of, do I put him in my saying a multi or do I?
That's a game changer.
We're not using this right.
No,
Obviously
we're not. We're not using it right.
All right, after this, I'll give you a tutorial.
Let's
We'll
do
sit
it
down
now
and-
because we actually do. We should do our tipping.
Well,
Harry's
there you
going to
go.
be spewing.
How does the punting segment work normally? Do you just pick a game, or do you have
We
go
quite
on the
literally
weekend?
just go through the games
Nice.
and usually bet.
Well, maybe what we can do, because AJ's here, we can pick one game this weekend that we want to dive into. So we'll just do our
Yes.
tips each game, but we'll pick the one game.
Let's
that
go.
we
Let's
think-
save me for last. I reckon Bulldogs Richmond, cracking game. Sunday Arvo.
Yeah.
On paper, probably sounds terrible, but I reckon there's some stats there that
All right.
player wise could be a fill up.
Well, I'm a Bulldogs guy, so you might give me some insights that
Here we
maybe
go.
that's why. Have I all told you about my history of the Bulldogs? I'm a champion, loved. They'd probably have me back any time.
He's
Actually,
also mates with Bailey Smith.
Yeah, I
he
am.
kind
That
of
makes
goes for
difference.
Geelong. So
stayed at his house.
So
Use the
basically,
sauna
just
together.
go wherever.
Do we have the fixture? I can't actually do it.
I've got the fixture, Jim.
Sorry, I went to go and get in the game, and usually
Can't really do much with those on.
Yeah, I've got these giant
I'd
gloves
like to
on.
see you navigate your phone with those on.
I just went. You saw me. I've gone to press a button on the computer, and my hands are as thick as Trav's at the moment.
No, I've got one, Jim. Tonight, kicking us off, Freo and Essendon. You'd struggle to get some stats on Essendon. You have to pull up like the
Not easy.
under 18s metro statistics to fill out the platform.
Yeah, there's certainly not too many going around there. I think Darcy Parish and Jai Caldwell are two that have been going very well this season for disposal. So you could look at them, but it's a tough game, that one, for if you're an Essendon fan. It might be a hard watch.
I was choking on my water as you were saying that. It was Essendon and who? Sorry.
Fremantle, the worst team in the league.
Oh, mate.
We hate Fremantle.
Oh, really?
yeah.
For any specific reason, or just
They just
I think they suck.
they suck, and it
they're
burns.
not the
that,
prettiest watch.
yeah, it burns that North could have had them and didn't. But that's us at the moment.
Yeah.
we're teetering on the edge. I thought we really had them and we didn't. But Fremantle suck. Worst team in the comp. This is what we need you, mate. This is some
I'm
terrible
a Port Adelaide
analysis.
supporter myself, so I can't throw stones at the moment.
You're
to
a Port
anyone.
guy?
Yeah.
I've warmed to them, but we'll get to that. I've warmed to one of their former
that's fine.
champions, actually. He's my guy now. So who are you going with?
Freo.
I'll go with, Freo.
Yeah, Freo.
With all that being said, it's Freo.
Geelong, Brisbane, Friday night. This is a cracker.
Actually is. You see the whiteout thing they're doing? They're all going to wear T-shirts in the crowd and
Danger's
stuff?
350th.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. I don't think it's for that, or it might be, but
Right.
it's his 350th game.
And this is because of the college thing where, which college was it? Where they...
I think it was Duke. Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, right.
pretty sure.
Well,
I'll
I
check, but
don't know if you've seen the OKC Thunder, but they do that for home matches too. They've been
Right.
doing it through the finals. It looks bloody great. I don't know if they'll be the
State,
same.
you're right.
I don't know if they'll be the same at an AFL ground, but we'll wait and see.
Well, thinking about it, Geelong, Friday night, freezing cold. How many white shirts do you reckon you're actually going to see in that crowd? No one's going to be wearing
putting
a
them over your Kathmandu or something on your North Face. Like, maybe.
old grannies with their cups of tea, their flasks and stuff with jackets on.
One for that game, actually, Josh Dunkley. So he's had 25 disposals or more in all of his last 5 against the Cats.
Is that right?
It's $2.20 with points bet.
Yeah, but I think Geelong.
Yeah, I mean, $1.42, Brisbane $3. You'd
Probably take Geelong.
yeah, it's good value for them as well, though.
Just on Geelong very quickly, I am in communication with one of their super fans. I'm not sure if I've told you this.
Oh, you have.
Yeah, it's been confirmed. It was going to actually happen this weekend, but may as well just call it here. I think he'll be okay with this, Troy the Catman. Have you ever seen Troy the Catman?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Troy and I are going to go to a Geelong home game together, and we're both going to be dressed up like
brilliant.
Catman. And I am going to stay at Bailey's again. This is all ticked off. and I will be eating a can of cat food if they win.
Wow.
We're the Cat Man, who I'm a huge fan of. I'm really excited about this. So,
You know they don't lose very often down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've been watching a lot of his videos and just sort of have. I like the one early
He doesn't
doors.
eat cat food though, does he?
No, he does. He
Does
eats
he?
tin of
I've not seen
cat
that.
food. This is how it came to my attention. Forgotten Stars were all over it. I was about to say,
I've seen the face paint and the dress up, but he's eating
brilliant.
cat food too.
he's fair dinkum. And behind that, the paint and the dress ups, he's a very ripped man.
Yeah.
He's a very tank man. He does a lot of
Big fella
dancing.
either. Yeah,
So
right.
there could be some interpretive dancing stuff. Anyway, that's happening. Eating cat food. Yeah.
Well,
So
the audience can't wait.
I bet they're on the edge of their seats.
All right, move on to the next
Yep.
one. Carlton, North, your mob.
Actually, we win this.
I actually reckon you do too.
Not Kerno. He's out anyway. He's always out.
Kerno's
But
out.
Mackay's out.
Mackay's
Yeah.
out, and so's fucking who's the nerd? Sam Walsh.
Long list.
Yep,
he is a
he's out
nerd.
too.
Yeah,
Love your bullshit, but you are a nerd.
yeah. Nothing wrong with being a nerd, but he's a nerd.
We're all nerds. Anyway, North win that.
Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah, they're a
Give
massive chance.
give us something for that. What do you got for that?
Harry Sheasel, I think, for this one, guys, he's playing a bit of a different role this year, but he just goes to another level when he plays the Blues. In his last 4 matches against Carlton, he's had 37, 32, 35, and 32. So he's had 30 in all 4 matches
Ooh.
against the Blues.
Well, it's because he takes the kick-ins and Carlton can't kick straight.
Yeah, that's true. He would have in those matches. And that's probably the thing to be mindful of. He might play a little bit more forward. They've been doing that this year. But even to get 25 plus, which he's pretty much done all year, is $1.50. So that could be a good one for you.
So I'm nodding and listening to you guys, but look, a Port Adelaide fan sits here, and all of a sudden you guys are fucking Kane Corns together. There's a cheesy ball and stat padding. He'll have. I'm going to
Nothing wrong
go.
with cheesy ball. I love cheesy ball.
Yeah, if he's at a half forward, I think he's a 25 possessions. I'll get Sheasel that, I reckon.
Well, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it because I know if you and I played football, we would absolutely stat pad. No matter what sport we'd play, we'd stat pad.
Yeah,
We'd look
absolutely.
for cheap ball on the outside.
Yep.
We'd handball and demand it back straight away,
Yes.
and then handball it back to them. 3
Yep.
possessions like that.
Would you count your touches in your head?
Oh,
I reckon, through the game as well?
absolutely.
Yeah.
I used to do that all the time.
Do ya?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You knew what you were
sometimes
on.
I'd have a pen down my skin, right
Mark it off.
on my hand.
Yeah.
But yes, if I didn't have the ability to stat pad, so
Nothing
I'd have a
wrong.
lot of
It's
talk.
just a great modern form of corruption. I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Next game, so we're in agreement. North Melbourne, we get that.
Port Sydney, your mob.
Yes.
Your
Yeah, I
mob.
think we...
Sorry, firstly, before we get into that, how could you go for Port?
Yeah, I didn't have any choice. I grew up in Adelaide, family, just massive Port Adelaide supporters. All have our teeth, surprisingly. So we're not those sort of Port supporters that abuse you on the hill. Just lovely family, you know. But no, we've just always gone for Port Adelaide. So yeah, I mean,
Are Port fans meant to be the toothless ones?
yeah,
Of the
yeah,
Adelaide
Port and
teams.
Collingwood have had those raps, I think.
Right.
They've been put into the same.
I just
bucket.
thought all the South Australians were kind of in that camp.
No,
of a bit
in
rough around
South
the edges.
Australia, it's very much an Adelaide versus Port rivalry.
Yeah.
But it's definitely Port that cops more.
Well, Port will win this game, surely.
I hope you're right.
Well-
I've been good last few weeks. Good last week against the D's. Week before that against the Giants.
Is my man Horn Francis playing?
It's 50-50, I think, but I hope he plays. I think he'll get up for it.
You're looking at me like, where's the sarcastic joke coming? Nah,
Yeah,
I've
no, you
turned.
genuinely like him.
I have turned. I'm a
He's a
Port
star.
guy.
Yeah.
What? When did this happen?
A couple of weeks ago when I figured out that Corns, I just didn't understand what his thing was.
Are you on Corn as well?
I love Corn. I love what he's doing.
God.
I
What,
think
mate, you've been gone 2 weeks. You lost the plot. What did you guys do at this function?
I love the Corn. I'm a baller. I'm a fireball
I
baller.
brainwashed him.
Did you take mushrooms or something?
Yeah, but that's beside the point. I love the Corn. He's trying to be me. That's what he's doing. He's trying to be a troll. It's quite obvious because he's not got a single thing right this whole year. Like we do a thing called receipts on the page, and I don't actually go, oh, fuck you for that opinion. I just go, okay, he's missed so many. I'm just going to Google whatever he said, and with his name, that player, and every single time he's wrong or he said the opposite thing. 6 months ago, 2 years ago, he's trolling, and I respect it.
Just say whack shit,
Yeah.
inflammatory shit, get the clicks, the views, make your cash, and ride off into the sunset in your G-Wagon.
And G-Wagon. He's never wrong either, and I respect that.
Yeah, that's
Just
great.
never take responsibility, never admit you're wrong. But also on to Channel 7 before we move on, and Kane, Hutchie is now calling. I think he's talking about us. He won't say it. He's calling us scrapers. If you listen to, I love their podcast. It's Damo and Hutchie. They do the sounding board.
Yeah.
He keeps referring to these content creators slash podcast people. I know you're talking about us, Hutchie.
What,
We're not
scraping
scrapers.
his content?
He thinks that we should be paying for the rights to the football if we're going to post football related things and all that sort of stuff. And there's all these rules in radio and
I
all that
absolutely
sort of
scrape
stuff.
his content. Does he reckon I have time to prepare for this shit? He's
he-
got a full-time
right.
job.
He also surely can't be worried about your insights, JK.
He should be.
No offense, but I mean, I don't think he'd be threatened by
No.
some
Well,
of the
now
stuff
you're
bringing to the
here.
table.
He should be terrified. I've got a secret weapon.
I mean, we make half this shit up.
I think he's nervous. That's all I think it is. I think he's nervous. The new kings and queens of media are coming us, and he's getting
Says the
getting
bloke
nervous.
fully padded up in cricket gear.
Yeah, I'm ready for war.
exactly.
Yeah.
Hutchie,
I'm ready
I'll
for
see you in the
war
nets.
over the AFL.
No, I actually love Hutchie and
Yeah.
Tomo. Great podcast. But we're not scrapers. But we will continue to scrape. That's
Happy to
me
be a
looking down the
scraper.
barrel over there. behind you.
All right, next
one.
game, Collingwood St Kilda, my mob, the Saints.
Ooh.
I went last week. First game this year that I went to was horrific.
Were you the only one there, according to the crowd?
Yeah. No, totally.
Yeah, that was
Absolutely.
tough.
Yeah. We're
What's your prediction here then?
oh,
Gonna be tougher?
No, I reckon we get up. Well, we beat them round 3 or 4 last year at the G. So I'm just kind of holding on to that.
Yeah,
I
very,
remember that
very good
too.
mate of mine is a Saints supporter, and he thinks that you're a much better chance against the Pies than you were against the Dogs. You match up better.
Absolutely.
Than
Yeah.
Pretty
Absolutely.
confident. So, yeah, a lot of pain you've had to endure. But actually, one for that game, Brody Mychek for the Pies.
Yeah.
Loves Marvel Stadium. Doesn't get to play there all that often though. So in his last 10 matches at Marvel, he's kicked 2 goals or more in 8 of them. So
Right.
he's $1.70 odd, I think, for 2 goals.
Chuck that in the Aussie.
So he's one to watch for
Yeah.
under the roof.
He also has Cal Wilkie hanging off him, so good luck.
Actually, I think I'm going to go St Kilda. I don't
Yes.
like Collingwood
Upset.
at Marvel.
There you go.
I don't think they play it very well at all. I could be completely wrong, and I keep looking over at AJ like I'm saying stuff that can be very quickly corrected.
Did you see us against the Bulldogs?
Shit. No, I'm going with it.
GWS Gold Coast, game of the round for me.
Expansion Cup. Yeah.
The expansion cup. There was a bloke in here, the office the other day, who works for the Giants in some corporate role, selling
bet him.
boxes and shit. He's a good
Good
fella.
bloke.
And I was like, surely you guys are getting relocated soon. What's going on there? What do you reckon?
Oh,
Is this a merger cup maybe?
no, they've been good this year, Gold Coast. I kind
They've
of
been
rate them.
great. They've been
Yeah.
fantastic. I mean, in terms of form, they're probably my favourite team to watch.
Yeah.
But I mean more so crowd sizes.
Yeah, okay. I mean, that's always going to be a little bit tricky,
Sustainability,
isn't it?
commercial
Yeah.
sustainability
Yeah.
is very interesting to us.
True.
I do wonder about that myself. Is
Like,
that
why
it
would you
can't
go
be
to fucking
sustainable.
Western Sydney? Sorry,
Have you ever been over to the Giants for a home game to watch?
I haven't, no.
No.
But have you been
Neither
to
have I.
Broadmeadows?
No, I don't know Sydney too well.
Yeah,
So.
no.
You wouldn't be alone.
No,
I don't think
no.
anyone's been over
No,
that
no one's been over there.
place since 2016.
I feel like if that team was in East Sydney or up like Manly Way or something, they'd be so much better off. Than
Where all
down
their
there.
players live when they go
Yes,
and,
correct.
and move up there.
So you
No
reckon
one actually.
relocate the Giants.
Isn't it like an hour to get there on the train?
I think so.
No one's going to.
You got a club full of people, staff, and players who are not willing to live anywhere near the West. They all live in Coogee.
I'll tell you who I would go there to watch is Tom Green. I love watching him play.
Oh,
he just
he's
racks them up.
grouse.
He's the same game multi. Green.
is.
Like he just 30 plus every week pretty much over there at home.
Write that down.
He's had 30 plus in 8 of his last 10 at Giants Stadium at home. So
I'm gonna have to sit with Dan as we put this stuff together
And just write those
later
down.
and write all these down.
grab a few of
100%.
these. Yeah,
This is
yeah.
this
we
is
can
a,
chuck it
this
up
is
on
a
the
multi.
social after. Yeah,
Mate, we need
Good call.
We need our own bloody thing on.
What do you call it? We need our own portal.
And yes, we need
Portal?
our own bet that people can just
Bet
go on.
slip.
There you
What
go.
is it
Yeah.
called?
Yes.
And this is the other thing too. So some of these I'm reading out, like I've just gone through the app and found a lot of these myself.
Yep.
Nothing stopping you from going in there, downloading it, just trawling through a few of the games, pressing a few buttons, and then
Oh, he's
all of a
good,
sudden
isn't he?
you can come up with these
That
insights
was a
yourself.
very,
Doesn't miss a
very
beat.
good advertisement.
Doesn't miss a beat,
Even
this
veteran
bloke.
can get in there and have a look.
That's a self-made man. He's learned how to advertise on the fly.
That company line. Boys, I'm going to go upset here. I'm going Gold Coast. Only slight upset. The line's 1.5 points, so
Right.
it's not a huge upset. But I'm going to go the Gold Coast here.
I think the Gold Coast as well.
GWS are favourite, but
I don't trust them.
no,
They've had a
neither do
weird
I.
year.
Yeah,
Weird.
very weird. All right, and last game to round it out. Now you were absolutely gagging to chat about this one.
Oh,
I feel
like
like
this
you got a
game.
few,
Here we go.
a few stats up your sleeve.
Fast-
So
fast forward
for
to
those
Sunday,
listening,
3:20. Yep.
get a pencil out and
The
your
StatMate
notepad
Cup.
and write a few of these down because AJ's got some good insights for us. Or actually, instead,
Sorry, I've just lost it as I'm watching him trying to drink through that helmet.
I'm trying to have it for anyone listening and not watching. I'm trying to drink this bottle of water and I can't find my way. I'm not allowed to take the helmet off. Is the rule?
You're gonna have to tip it in. I
through his
reckon.
cricket
Yeah.
helmet.
It's as good as a job that you can do.
Oh, Jesus Christ! It's good listening. Sorry, I digress.
I was saying to get a pen out and
Yep.
write this down, but for those that don't have a pen or want to look at this themselves, they can just download the app. It is free.
That's true. Yeah, exactly right. Another great little plug.
No hidden charge. Nothing.
Nothing.
No corruption.
Yeah, if you're a Doggies
Just tap
fan,
your card on your way.
if you're a Doggies fan, you'll love this game. I think it's going to be disposals galore. I can't see Richmond sort of tagging anyone within the Doggies team. And Marcus Bontempelli, so he got touched up last week by Marcus Windhager, and he was held to 14 touches. I think he bounces back.
Was he?
So,
Who touched him up?
yeah, Marcus Windhager.
My boy.
Marcus Windhager
I
this
missed
year has
this
been
game.
very
Best
good.
tagger
Yeah.
in the league, mate.
Yeah.
I was once again hungover
And
for this
and
game.
he had 24 odd and a goal the other way.
He did, yeah. He played really well. So
How?
in his last 5 matches, the Bond's averaging only 22 touches, so 22 and a half touches. But against the Tigers, he's averaging 29.6. So he's covered 25 plus in all of his last 5 against the Tigers, and he's $2.20 to do that this week,
Well, hello.
which feels like a nice price for him to bounce back. And the other one is Bailey Dale, who we love because he just walks out of the goal square and gets about eight freebies a game.
The man who looks like an Anzac. They call him Digger.
How's his record at Marvel? So his last 4 matches at Marvel Stadium is 32, 49, 30, and 36.
Yeah, so jump on him.
For 30 plus, he's about $1.90. So I think those two should just get a heap of it. And then goal scoring wise, I mean, Sam Darcy looked good last week. He's back.
Well, that was just nuts. Like first game back, and how do you stop
He's a
this
freak.
bloke?
Yeah.
It's
So that's the thing. Like the ability to just look at the venue and how a player performs there is massive, because you think about the difference between the MCG, where you're out in the elements, especially this time of year, versus under the roof at Marvel. It's a big difference, as you can see from just some of those averages, or against a certain team. Like Bond finds a good matchup there against the Tigers. Didn't find one last week because they tagged him, and might be a good opportunity to sort of bounce back. And the bookmakers don't always catch on to that sort of stuff. They're not looking at it in the same level of depth as the StatMate users.
Exactly
Nerds.
right.
Yeah, as the stat nerds, I should say. Yeah.
Did we
You're right.
cover that you can look at things like that? Because that's pretty interesting. You can look at
Venue, opponent, and with or without players.
that was the one.
Yeah.
That was with or without a
huge.
player.
So if Kernow's out, you
Yep.
can go, how does Harry play when
Correct.
Kernow's not playing? That's
And then,
fucking huge.
do you know what? I was hoping to come prepared with a nice little nugget for that, but then Harry's also out, and then when you take 2 of them out, there's hardly any games where both of them haven't played together. So it's a bit of an interesting one. Like I think Jesse Motlop had played a few games where neither of them had played and he kicked a few goals, but yeah, it's slim picking. So you got to try and find your right.
You actually just reminded me that's what happened to North last time we played him. Jesse
did?
well,
Yeah, yeah.
Jesse Motlop got off the chain, and
the Easter
there we went.
match, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was. Yep. Anyway, we're back to the Dogs. There could be. I'm looking at that game thinking.
So yeah, sorry. Apologies for the Tigers fans as well out there. I didn't have too many stats for Tigers this week. But
this,
They've had a good run.
this is a 20 goaler, surely.
Yeah, this is like 4 guys over 35 possessions sort of game.
could be.
This is Libba not really moving from the contest and still having 40, kicking a goal. There'll be some weird anomalies. What are they going to be? Bond, that is unusually quiet. That screams of, hey, not take it easy, but just play a different type of role until we get to the business end of the season, as we're at this midpoint. This is the notoriously boring part of the season.
It is, yeah.
It doesn't surprise me that Bond's just
And that was
maybe
the
on
other thing,
cruise
actually.
control.
Sorry, I just remembered that we do have the team stats or rankings in the app as well, so you can see where teams rank for disposals allowed and for. So the Doggies are actually second in the comp for disposals for. So they're actually the second most disposals
Right.
per game. So they're 382, and Richmond are allowing the most disposals to opposition per game. So when you got that matchup under a roof, like and a blowout potentially, it
This
could
is a
just be-
monster.
yeah.
This is the same gamer.
I feel like
You watch it, it's going to be low scoring now. No one's going to have 30, but
how it always
all the
goes.
stats point to it being a nice
is it,
stat.
it's at Malville, right?
It is.
Under the roof, yeah.
There is no way this isn't a monster.
No.
Then the Dogs get on one at Marvel, and Sam Darcy, 6'11". What was that? Who it was David King went on air and said that he's as tall as the shot clock in a basketball court.
That's just ridiculous. He said he was 390 centimeters. So a basketball, like the top of a backboard is what, 360?
Yeah.
So he's touching the top of the shot clock.
He's taller than that overpass thing in South Melbourne that everyone just goes under. The trucks keep hitting. He's taller than that. It's what a dumbass. I think he actually went on air David Zeta style and do you have an apology for that? But anyway, that's a dogs by 100 sort of game, isn't it?
Absolutely. Thank God.
Well, that was a lot.
Sunday afternoon. How good.
Was that Sunday afternoon?
Last game of the round. Yeah.
They are a team I like, even if they're flogging someone. I just like to tune in. They play a good brand of footy.
We call that the St Kilda hour.
Yeah.
4:40 on a Sunday. It's my favourite time to watch footy.
But that was a lot more efficient. Outstanding. There's no more games, is there?
No, that's it. We're good. And then
Still in the bye round, so
couple of
4
buys.
teams of the buys.
Yep.
Yeah. Which is ridiculous. We shouldn't have this long of a bye. But, mate, we could probably just wrap there. And we've got through just about everything. South African cricketers with big asses. And we've had AJ. It's been a packed show.
Been a great show. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me, guys.
If you see me also driving a G-Wagon from on next week, it'll be thanks to you and StatMate.
From.
Yeah.
Quite seriously, though, that's what's going to happen. I'm putting on the biggest multi you've ever seen in your life. But jump on everything. Subscribe, YouTube, Spotify. I never get this out right, AJ, at all. Anything where you see 28-year-old male.
Just buy it.
Just do it, buy it.
Put credit card in and send me 3 digits on back.
Corruption we involved. Good. We'll see you next week.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right.